Have you ever stopped to wonder if your unconscious identity is stopping you from getting everything that you want? Are you in a job that you despise? Is your business at a plateau in its growth? Do you find it hard to get into a really loving relationship? Or are you constantly having money problems? Whichever area you're finding challenging right now, we're going to take a look at how self-image can be affecting each of those areas in your life. Keep watching. Today's video is brought to you by my mini course, Permission to Suck, Bypassing Perfection, Embracing Potential. This is a 3-lesson course with 3 bonus videos that has been the transition point for hundreds of my clients to change their relationship with failure for good. Details in the description box below. Welcome back to Mindset Monday on the Voice Love Company. My name is Christi Bovee and I'm a mindset coach and voice intuitive who works with high-level professionals and pre-professionals, getting them to meet their destiny. I help people find their voice and make their sound in the world, no matter who they are, no matter what they do. Last week we talked about being the star of our own movie instead of a supporting role, and I'll leave a card for that episode right up here. But I want to ask you, how was your week? Were you more aware of your self-image this week? Were you more aware of how you actually talk to yourself and how you think about yourself? This mental portrait creates an internal thermostat, and that thermostat creates invisible boundaries around us. Today we're going to attempt to find even more areas in our self-image where we can break through those invisible barriers. Last week I talked about Dr. Maxwell Maltz, and this week I have another great quote from him. Dr. Maltz says, "You can never outperform your own self-image." In other words, your self-image and the way you look at and talk to yourself may be limiting your outcomes personally and professionally. I've definitely found this to be true in my own life, and I've seen a negative self-image rear its ugly head in work with clients. I'll never forget the voice work session I had with a client who literally cringed when I gave them well-deserved praise. They had sung their piece of music so beautifully. It was a watershed moment, truly a breakthrough, and I was so proud of them because we had been working towards this for so long. But once I gave them that little piece of praise because I was so elated, they had to stop singing altogether. Their teeth were clenched, they were barely holding back tears, and all they could say was, "It's not true." I stopped the music and I was so surprised when I turned around and saw that they were literally furious with me. And anything I said to try and help them understand that I was not lying, I was telling the truth, they were completely immovable. They were totally unwilling to see that my words of praise and affirmation were not lies. And they were completely blind to the fact that their false beliefs about themselves were the biggest lies ever. You can't outperform that much shame. You can't outperform that much self-loathing. I read an article recently that said 90% of us have no conscious awareness of how our poor self-image truly impacts us. Most of us just think that's just the way it is, and we suffer through more self-doubt for another year. And each time we quit or give up on a dream, we reinforce the hold that this negative self-image has on us. Because your subconscious doesn't know the difference between what's real or what's imagined. So how do you fix something of which you have no awareness? While I've been encouraging you to put good input into your mind, using repetition, saying the right things over yourself again and again and again, you cannot fix a negative self-image with positive affirmations. Positive thinking doesn't do much good for a completely ingrained negative self-image. If your self-image tells you that you're a terrible public speaker, it's not going to matter how many positive affirmations you say to yourself. It won't change if you don't believe it. And that is what a poor self-image is, an unrealistic image of yourself based on something that happened to you possibly years ago. I will never forget the day in 6th grade when I had to give an oral report in front of the entire school at an assembly. It was for my ancient history class, and it was my first time to speak into a microphone, and I stumbled over the word Hittites. I said Hittitites, and I could hear all the kids giggling softly. I have trouble remembering my own kids' names sometimes because they all start with the letter N. Noel, whoever you are. But this one little incident stuck in my brain for decades and had the potential to take me under as a fact that I was a terrible public speaker. It's at this point you have to look at things objectively, and to do that you have to look at reality. So instead of thinking I am terrible at public speaking and I am never going to do that again, but I have something burning in my heart I need to say. You need to be realistic. Can I speak relatively intelligible English? Yes. Okay, can I speak to another human being and they understand me? Yes, I can. Can I speak a few sentences to a waiter to let them know how I would like my steak cooked? Yes, I can do that. Can I speak a few paragraphs in front of another human being, say like a contractor who's doing a house repair, so I can let them know exactly what I need them to do? Yes, I think I can handle that. That is my objective reality of my ability to speak in front of other humans. That is how you fix your poor self-image. You take small steps to objectively test your beliefs. As you prove your negative self-image wrong, it will change. Now, I may not win any public speaking awards or anything, but that's where practice comes in. And let's not even get onto the topic of practice. That's for another video. Think back to my client who shut down with total rage when I gave them a compliment. How do you respond when someone gives you a compliment? If you feel a stab of discomfort that makes you cringe, that's a signal that your self-image is a big, fat liar, telling you things that are just not true. You cannot outperform that, my friend. If you are struggling with telling yourself the constant message of, I am not good enough, oh, aren't you so tired of that? Doesn't it wear you out hearing that message every time you dare to step out and try something new? Don't you think it's high time to do something radical for yourself that could change everything? Change your beliefs about yourself and everything will change. You can objectively look at anything once you become aware that you are doing it to yourself. Think about this. Think about yourself. Write down what you negatively think about yourself and then set out to prove yourself wrong. Ask yourself, what little thing can I use as a starting point to prove myself wrong? And then get into massive action. Do it. Prove yourself wrong. As Brian Tracy says, the person we believe ourselves to be will always act in a manner consistent with our self-image. This is why I really want you to get my Permission to Suck mini course. It'll only take you a little bit over an hour, and it's going to help you start the process of becoming who you really are without the constraints of this poor self-image. I really want you to take advantage of it. You can get the details in the description box below. This is all about you continuing to find your voice. You may not even know that you need to look for it, but I'm telling you today, keep finding your voice. Keep making your sound in the world today, in whatever sphere it is that you're supposed to be operating in, because somebody in the world right now is literally praying for what you and only you bring. And always remember, you are loved. Bye-bye. Have a great week.